Hello everyone and welcome to this new lecture. In this lecture we're going to learn a very kind of advanced concept when it comes to function, so we'll call it Lambda Expressions. In the previous lecture we have been able to learn what functions are, and we've been able as well to use some of the built-in functions such as sum, length, whatever. Okay. In this section let's go ahead and use Lambda Expressions. Okay. So first of all, let's take a look at what the definition is. So Lambda function is a way to create small anonymous function. When I say anonymous, that means without a name. Okay. Lambda functions are mainly used with filter and map and reduce. And actually, we're going to have the next lectures, we're going to discuss filter and map as well. It can take any number of arguments, but only have one expression. All right, let's take a look at what do you mean by the Lambda expression. Let's assume that I wanted to define a regular function, basic functions we have done in the past. That function is take a variable and just simply square it. So I'm going to say, okay, define my function, and that function will take, let's say, value x, and the function we're going to simply return x squared. We have done that before several times, x squared, shift enter, and if I wanted to call the function, I was just going to call it with its name, my function. I'm going to pass along, let's say, value of 3. Here we go. So now I send 3 in there, it squared it, now it becomes 9. All right, that looks good. Let's see how can we do the exact same operation using a Lambda expression. So here I'm doing Lambda expression. What I could do, I'm going to say, okay, Lambda, all right? That's how we write it, okay? I know it sounds a little bit confusing, but let's take a look. Lambda simply, we're going to take x. If I send you x, please return back to me x squared. And when you do this operation, return it in a variable called y. That's it. So y equals to lambda. I will send you x, you give me x squared. It's the same idea here. Here I have defined the function that takes x and return x squared. It's just an elegant way of writing the exact same expression. And she will press shift enter. Here we go. So now if I wanted to call that Lambda expression, there's no name to it, right? So I'm going to call that variable or that outcome or that output. So we'll call it y and send, for example, let's say value of 3. Shift enter, here we go. Now I come up with a value of 9. All right. Okay, let's take a look at another example. Let's say y of 10. Shift enter, here we go. Come up with 100 value, and so on. Okay. All right. Maybe you guys didn't capture it like yet. Maybe let's take a look at another example. Let's assume that I wanted to define a function. Okay. And what that function does is simply takes 3 parameters and sum them up. All right, let's see how can we do that in a very basic way, and let's see how can we do that using Lambda expressions. So I'm going to say, okay, define. The function is called summation. It takes 3 parameters. It takes x, y, and z. Okay, looks good. The function will simply return x plus y plus z. Really simple. Shift enter, here we go. If I wanted to call the function, again, I will call it with its name. I'm going to pass along, let's say, 1, 2, and 3 parameters. Summation should be 6. Okay, looks good. If I wanted to do the exact same process but using the Lambda expressions, what I could do, I'm going to say, okay, result, right, equals to lambda, right? My apologies, lambda. And what I could do, I'm going to say it's the same fashion. Okay, you basically, in a simple form, you put colon, all right? Here you specify the inputs, what you wanted to send to it, and here you specify the output. All right, so if you wanted to send, I want to send x, y, and z. The output is x plus y plus z. Very, very simple. All right, okay. Shift enter, here we go. If I wanted to call the function, let's say I'm going to say, or Lambda expression, I'm going to say result, which is my output here, the outcome or the return of that function, and I can call it whatever. I'm going to send to it 1, 2, and 3. Shift enter, here we go. We'll come up with the exact same answer. So simply I just, like kind of this function becomes this Lambda expression, which is very, very simple and very, very powerful. All right. What I want you guys to do is to simply define a Lambda expression that simply takes 2 numbers and multiply them together. Please go ahead, pause the video, and I will see you guys after the challenge. All right. I hope you guys were able to figure out the challenge. What I ask you guys to do is to simply define, let's say, z equals to multiply, okay, and that would, All right, I hope you guys were able to figure out the challenge. What I ask you guys to do is to simply define a lambda using lambda expression. You're going to take two variables and you multiply them together. All right, so we're going to say okay, result equals to lambda, and the lambda take x and y, and simply return x times y. Very, very simple, it's like writing on a calculator. It's very, very powerful, very, very easy. Okay, let's run it again. And let's test it. So I'm going to say results. I'm going to pass along, let's say 3 and let's say 6. Shift enter, here we go, come up with 18. Let's say you want to test it again. I'm going to send, let's say 10 and 6, you come up with 60, and so on. All right, that's pretty much all I have for this lecture. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's recap. This lecture, we have been able to cover lambda expressions, which is kind of an easy, elegant way of writing an exact same function. Again, you write lambda, you specify the inputs, colon is part of the outputs, here we go, and that's it. It's really simple, very intuitive, and that's pretty much all I have for this lecture. In the next lecture, I'm going to show you how can we use lambda expression to perform really advanced operations using the reduce and map. Best of luck, and I will see you guys in the next lecture.